name is Krishnamoorthy. I'm currently working as a senior engineering manager at VMware within the VMware Cloud division. I lead a team of engineers who build cloud infrastructure solutions which are used by VMware customers. I've been in the technology industry for close to 15 years now, and previously I was in academia in the area of computer science. So that's about me and my background. When I took on the role of an engineering leader at VMware, it was a conscious decision that I had that had been running in my mind for some time, and I'm grateful to my leaders who created the avenue for me to pursue this opportunity. The motivation for me to get into this role was to be the stepping stone on which others can succeed. So after having spent considerable amount of time with technology, writing code, my heart was calling out to help others succeed. And along the way, I had a very good friend to whom I'm really grateful. I was going through these dilemmas, what next to do with life. And he was undergoing his training to become a coach. And so he did multiple sessions with me for his practice, but he was a really good coach. And in seeing him practice with me and the effect it had on me, that sowed the seeds that, hey, this is something that I want to do for myself in my life. So he was the first person who put the thought in my mind that a coach can make a difference. Fast forward, this happened more than 6-7 years ago. And at VMware, I switched my role, and actually I realized that having the training to be a coach would help me in my day-to-day job. And VMware has a very healthy and very good employee development programs. I'm really grateful to my employer for that. So we have a program wherein they can fund these kind of learning opportunities. And so I use that funding available to actually identify or start looking at who are the institutes or who are the vendors, so to speak, who offer this kind of training. And while I was doing that research, it was my wife who actually introduced me to Coacharya. She had watched one of your webinars. She is a leader herself, and she had watched a webinar, and she told me, hey, you know what? This webinar that I watched was done very well, and you should look at this institute. So that's how I actually zeroed in on Coacharya. It was based on her feedback and recommendation. It's been a path, it's been a journey of introspection, of awareness, and to a large extent, self-discovery. Right? There were many things that the trainer, Prakash, a very good trainer, and I'm grateful to him, that he helped us become aware of about ourselves as a coach. If I have to pick up a few things that come to me during this session with you, some of the things that I learned, which I find helpful even today, are one, it's okay to slow down, or rather it's important to slow down. It's okay to pause when you're talking or when someone else is talking. So these are little things which I realized in my journey with Coacharya that are very useful. And I saw that the experienced coaches speak highly about these small practices, right, that do make a difference. The other thing that I've learned about myself as a coach is that every time I finish a coaching session, many things that came about during the coaching session for the client in some way or the other reflect even in our own lives. So every coaching session has been useful to me in my personal life as much as whatever value I was able to um, derive for the client. So as days pass by, I'm realizing that coaching is as much a personal, a spiritual sadhana as it is exercise in helping others achieve their dreams and their needs. I think anyone who is in the role of a leader, whether you're leading people or what we call in our industry as a technical leader, wherein the person leads a particular product or a module and indirectly leads people because of owning that module. Anyone in these two roles, I think, would benefit from this program greatly. Who else would benefit from this program uh, in uh, in terms of other industries? I think it this kind of leadership roles are common across the industry. I think anyone who is a leader will benefit. But being the parent to a 10-year-old, I've seen a lot of things that we learn as coaches are helpful uh, in being a parent. I'm not even going to the extent of saying being a good parent, because I still do not know what a good parent means in today's world. Uh, but in being a parent, the training you receive as a coach is definitely helpful. If they are asking me about my experience, I would say that it was a beautiful blend of the ideas surrounding coaching and the the ideas that have come about in the last 100 to 200 years from various parts of the world, blended beautifully with the Eastern philosophy, the culture that we all hold very dear. Right? Even in the coaching textbook, in your webinars, these things are beautifully blended, and they are consistently blended. And more importantly, they are blended in a very natural way. The way Kocharya blends these two schools of thought, or these two ways of looking at our inner universe, uh, is something that is really special. If you're looking at just the ICF definition of coaching, and if Kocharya wanted to deliver just that, it would be a very small portion of what somebody can take away from the holistic learning you get from Kocharya. So that's what I would tell them. But if they come and ask me, hey, should I sign up for Kocharya? I would say, do it. If I have to use just two words to describe uh, the area of my life that has been improved, that would be mental health. Uh, we all go through times that we were not prepared for. Things are different today than they were a few years back. And we need to do something additional uh, to keep our mental health at the level it should be for well-being. And I find that coaching and all the practices that go into preparing for a coaching session, um, because we cannot just show up for a coaching session uh, without being in a certain frame of mind ourselves, without being present to ourselves before we can exhibit presence to our clients. And everything that goes into making that happen improves mental health for me. Having been in the academia before, and I've been inspired in my life to take up many things because of some of my teachers. So the very act of being a guru uh, is something that is important to me in my life, right? So when I view Prakash through that lens, he's definitely one of those gurus or teachers, right, who have inspired me. Now, how does he do that? That's what stumps me, right? It seems as though every time Prakash shows up for a session, he's just having the time of his life. He doesn't have a script. It seems, right? He makes it uh, almost like an informal conversation over a cup of tea, right? In a beautiful cafe on a rainy day, right? It's the ambience is perfect. The people you are with are perfect, and the conversation seems perfect, right? And I've seen Prakash do this in every session I was with him, right? There is a textbook, right? There is a certain learning experiences, right? Could be linear, or they could be non-linear, or they could be, what I've learned from Prakash is inspired and serendipitous, right? And somehow he has mastered the third category, and that's really beautiful. And he brings in energy, right? Uh, I'm reminded of what Satya Nadella writes in his book, Hit Refresh. In one of the chapters, he lists all the things that he looks forward in his leaders, right, to evidence. So one of them is, he says, a leader should exude and demonstrate energy, right? And Prakash does that really well. The one thing that I would like to call out, Sylvester, is the care that has been put in, right, into crafting the Coacharya textbook experience. Uh, I keep revisiting that often, even when I just want to feel inspired or motivated. I think the team, I believe you are part of the team as well. I think it's really wonderfully done. It's amazing, and the webinars, they're really helpful. And sometimes I listen to them in just audio mode when I'm driving to work or I'm returning from work. So that is one thing I really want to call out. Right. Uh, Great work by Kocharya on putting together that kind of resources and making it available even after you complete your scheduled classes. That's really nice. Right? And the support systems at Kocharya, whenever we write to them, whenever we have some questions, because in the initial phase of this journey, you have a lot of questions regarding the transactional aspects of being a coach, right? What should I do? This, that. I think every time there has been a question, there has been a very patient, no response, and in helping. I think there's a lot of empathy demonstrated in these aspects. That's one thing I really want to call out. And I also want to call out my cohort. I think we had a really fun cohort. Um, they were wonderful people.